and welcome to the Comedian's Paradise. This is the podcast where we speak to comedians across the globe. Some very fascinating, some very smelly, some very gorgeous, some sexy, some amazing. We've got so many different kinds of comics that are incredible and give amazing stories that help comedians like you and me live the comedy journey to make it an adventurous journey and to find our own niche. Now, today's guest is Nasif Akhtar. He is a man who I met in the Edinburgh Fringe at a gong show, which was quite peculiar. And he was there for 7 days and found himself 500 gigs. It's a world record. I don't know how he was able to achieve it, but he's a man who is conquering the Kolkata comedy scene. He is hilarious. You're going to absolutely love him. Welcome, Nasif Akhtar.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Marvin, for this great opportunity to express myself in front of the comedy paradise. The comedian's paradise.
Thank you for coming on. And it's a pleasure to have you here. And before we start the podcast, we found out something very special and unique about you, Nasif, didn't we? Your cup said, what did the cup say?
To the best stand-up comic.
Okay. And
I think it's in my room. I mean, in my room, I am the best.
But it's obviously a lot of fun, isn't it, when you start performing gigs and you get noticed by audience members. And what was it like when you did your first stand-up comedy gig with audiences, and what is it that you love, what is it that led you to comedy?
Okay, so I think see some cultural references you will not understand because it's the scene is very different in India than your country. I did not know about stand-up comedy till I was 24 of age. Okay, I did not have any idea about this career. Like there is a thing called stand-up comedy. Like you can go on stage and make people laugh. I used to I was born in a very proper village kind of area in India. Okay, and in India, you don't have like stand-up comedy just came 10 years ago, 10 or 15 years ago. Okay, like it started among the posh people. They started doing it because it was a foreign culture and people used to do it in English, not in the Indian language.
Okay.
But there is one stand-up comedian I saw in my brother's laptop for the first time, I think 10, 12 years ago. Russell Peters. I saw him performing and my brother used to see him. So I watched him and I loved it, but I did not know that is called stand-up comedy and that is a career. I thought that he's a celebrity outside and he's just talking and in a funny way. And when I got to know that there is a career on it, like you can really go up on stage and make them laugh, and there are open mics in the city, then I tried. Then I went there because India is very sensitive. I mean, sensitive in a way, like you guys complain that people get offended, right? For the about like in stand-up comedy, some jokes people get offended, right? In India, you have no fucking idea how much offended we are about silly things. Like the way the offensiveness you have in your jokes, for that comedians can be killed here. You know, that kind of sensitivity we have around jokes. Like you can't offend someone so easy. Like you should not joke about something. There are so many topics you cannot joke about. Okay, so we are really sensitive about these things. So that's why we have to modify the sets in a way that we don't speak something which is offensive to people. And when I first did stand-up comedy, I just loved it. Like it's the same for you also. So when I did it, I imagined that this is the life I want to take. Like I want to do this. I mean, it's. I think it's same for you, right? I mean, every stand-up comedian feels that.
Let me say, so hold on a second. Back to what you said there. You said that in India, has there actually been someone that's been killed doing stand-up comedy in India for saying the wrong
Mm,
joke?
I think
Because you said
not yet. Yeah, I know,
not
not
yet.
yet, not yet. But people went to jail, and uh, yeah, there are so many incidents where comedian or a content creator who was attacked, and yeah, who was attacked, and they got in jail, and there are so many protests and all these things happening. So we actually very we are very selective about our words about the whole set of our stand-up comedy, because we need to do that. Some guy got famous, Munawar Faruqui. He's a comedian. He got famous by just going to jail. He was not famous before that. Okay, he went to jail, and then he got famous. Like nationally, now he's a trend. So now he has filled up shows, like auditorium shows. Before that, he was no one. And because he went to jail, now he's doing like 1,000 seaters.
How? How has it been the
I don't know,
reverse?
man. That's the way it is. In India, just come and offend someone, and you will be like on the news.
Oh, you're gonna get all our dodgy comedians then.
So what he did was, he was a Muslim guy. He was a Muslim guy. I mean, he still is, but he is a Muslim guy, and he did jokes about Hindu gods. Do you know about the Hindu Muslim thing about India, right?
I know
I
that
mean,
there's a bit of beef.
that much educated, I believe you are.
I know that there's a bit of a disparity between Hindus and
Yeah,
Muslims.
that's a Hindu is a different religion than Islam,
Yeah, I know that.
and majority of Indians are like more than 75% are Hindus, and 25% percentage is Muslim.
Yeah.
So you see, we are the minority people. I am also a Muslim guy. So there is a big, it's like the American white and black thing. Okay,
It's
we
effectively
are the black
you're in the
people of India.
minority. You're the
Yeah,
minority,
yeah. We are the
effectively.
black
Yeah.
people of India. So imagine somebody, some black guy making fun of a white culture or some cultural reference, maybe. He went to jail and he got famous. I think it's the same story with all the black comedians, I guess.
Well, no, but it's treated differently. So I mean, because they're in the UK and America, often it's not treated well if you punch down, but if you punch up, they're okay with that. So I can make a
Yeah,
joke about a white
exactly,
person, but they can't
exactly.
make a joke of me as much.
I mean, here they don't understand that concept, punching down and punching up. That concept, it's not clear. But yeah, that's it. Actually, what is happening right now, I believe that Hinduism is the most liberal religion of this world, like any day. Like it is the most liberal religion, because they are very peaceful and they're very welcoming to other religions. But Muslims are very extreme. I mean, that the world knows that. I mean, the so what Hindus did was, Hindus started becoming like Muslims. Like they now want to save their religion, because they have this wrong idea about us, like about Muslims, that we are having more children, so that India, we will be the majority in India. Like this is a thought in Hindu fundamentalist people's idea in their mind. Okay, the
Northern Ireland.
yeah, yeah. I mean, they the for the political reasons, they have this agenda of among themselves. They throw these rumors to all the Hindu people that please save your country, please save your culture, because Muslims are ruining it. So that is the idea. So they are trying to save their religion, and that's why they have become more defensive about everything.
Hmm. Oh, okay. So, but so one of the things in comedy is there a bit of a is it like what's it what's it like what's happening in terms of comedy with regards to all that that's happening around you because of that?
Mm, I might say that stand-up comedy like is not dominant anywhere in India. It's not dominant because India has, I mean, India is the highest populated country right now. So you can understand the population. So if you compare that population, the percentage of stand-up comedy following people are very less. You know, all the posh people who are rich people, which is again, it's very less people. It's not the number is very less, and among them, a percentage of rich posh people, they follow stand-up comedy, just like in foreign countries, in Western countries, they do. Like only those people, the middle class, the lower class, they don't care about stand-up. They don't have time to watch stand-up comedy because they're very, I mean, they have to work really hard. They don't have time. They have to make money.
So what's it like? What's like the typical working hour week in India for the middle
Um,
class and the working class and then the upper class?
9 to 5 for 9 to 5 till Saturday. Only Sunday is the holiday.
Okay.
So it's like around 9 to 5 means I think 50 hours, around 50 hours.
Oh, whoa! Oh, okay, I see.
That is us, man. That is us. We are so fucking hardworking.
Ah, and same. Oh, okay. And what about
What is the working hour there in your
normally
country?
9 to 5 on a Friday, and it's 40 hours?
40 hours. Okay.
Is that why you want to visit London?
I mean, I want to visit London for so many reasons. This is one of them, but so many reasons. There are so many reasons to visit London. Are
But
you staying in London right now?
at the moment, yeah. But let's see where we
So,
go.
so why are you staying here? Because your home is you're from, I think, another city, right?
No, I'm born and bred Londoner.
Okay, so you are Irish, but you were born,
No,
brought up in
no, no, no,
London.
no. I have an Irish surname, but my
Okay,
dad's English and Irish and from Liverpool. But my
okay,
mum is, well, the family were in China, but they immigrate to Thailand because of the war between China and Japan.
okay, okay.
I'm mixed race, effectively.
Yeah, I can see that.
Okay.
I mean, see, I said I can see that. Is it offensive? Tell me first.
uh, I, and some people in the West may take it the wrong way because there's a lot of
Right?
I know that you said in
But
India it's quite sensitive, but we're
but
in the
trust me,
UK.
trust me, in India, it's very funny. Like we make fun of these things. You know, if I see you, like if some people here see you, they will say, "Hey, you're from Nepal," and it's a very funny thing to them. Okay, you're just funny. You're just a joker in front of them. Like, Nepal. He has come from Nepal or something. It's like they don't understand that stereotype thing or punching down or race. We are offending someone or something. You know, they don't understand this idea.
Okay, but how so with India as a whole and like when you were doing comedy, like so you started 12 years ago and you're saying that
No,
India.
I started only 6 or 7 years ago. But Indian stand-up comedy scene, which started like 12, 15 years ago.
Oh, so it's only, but how did like the scene in India start and how did you start and how did you get to where you are today?
But before that also, I mean, before I said that I don't know about your country, but before I said that 15 years ago stand-up comedy came to India, right? But before that, there was this a culture of stand-up comedy, but that was a different Indian style stand-up comedy. Like it was very loud, mimicry used to happen, and I think I cannot make you understand that thing. Like that was like more at you know uh, there is a term called ethnic. That's a ethnic stand-up comedy, like that is very unique to the Indians. They used to
Okay.
mimic on stage, they used to dance, they used to uh, make up like one man used to make up like women. They used to dress up like women, and they used to do stand-up comedy. Like that was a very cultural and very family friendly stand-up comedy. Okay,
Yeah.
that was like, you cannot say stand-up comedy because those were mixed of all the art forms. But the Western style, like in the auditorium, you are saying whatever the fuck you want in, or like through your mouth, like whatever the fuck you want. You want to sit, you want to bash someone, or you want to roast someone, you want to roast the political structure or anything. That style came 15 years ago, and I started 7 years ago in Kolkata. I went to a cafe to an open mic, and first day I did really well. I I did very well, and after that, consequently 5 days I did so bad. But the first day was very good. So I just thought that this is what I'm going to do that day on the first day.
Okay. Was it in
And how
English?
no, I did it in English first time, but it was a wrong idea to do it in English because again, in India, some people used to think that stand-up comedy has only one language, and that is English. Like you have to do stand-up comedy in English. You can't do it in your own language because they saw only English comedians. So they thought that only it happens in English.
Oh,
Yeah.
I spoke to Arun Shriyam, but he says that he does comedy in Bengali and English.
Who?
Arun Shriyam, he's in Bangalore.
What is the name again?
Arun Shriyam, he says he does comedy in both.
Yeah, but right now I told you, like it was initially the case. Like comedy only happens in Bengali, and now we have like much more diversities, because I do it in Bengali, I do it in Hindi, and if I go to London, obviously I'll do it in English. So that is the thing. Now people are like, it is getting, dominant in the people. Like people are doing stand-up comedy in various languages.
Okay. And how do you adjust, like when you're doing it in different languages?
It's a very big problem when I'm doing it in a different language, because my mother tongue is Bengali. So so uh, when Corona was there, when Corona, the whole situation was there, I got viral in the Bengali community because I was getting bored. I created some, vines on Facebook because I was getting bored. I was in my home. I could not travel. I did not have any open mic. So I thought of an idea, and I made one vine, and it got viral. And after that, I made so many contents on Facebook sitting at my home, and they got viral. And I am a little bit viral in Bengali community. People know me. Okay. It's like if I go outside, they will take selfies with me. So that's the, you know, success. Anyway, so in Bengali community, I'm viral. I did so many stand-up shows now. But whenever I do it in Delhi or Mumbai, where I have to do it in Hindi, then the problem I face, like, because comedy is all about timing, right? So sometimes I just don't have that word I was looking for, and the timing of the punchline is gone. So it's not funny anymore. Did you understand?
Oh, right, because of the languages are structured so different.
Yes,
You have,
yes.
yes.
So I have to practice so fucking harder, or I have to memorize so many things all together, The same thing. I mean, sometimes there are sets which is only relatable or only funny to Bengali community. It's not to other community. Okay. So that's why I have to create different sets for different sets for the Bengali community and the whole Indian community, right? So it's very difficult, but I am trying my best to overcome that thing, because Hindi is not my language. So I have to think of the word when I am doing some improv or I am doing crowd work, right? So if it would have been in Bengali, I should have like said it smoothly, completely a good punchline. But in Hindi, I have to think of the word. Which word should I? Like sometimes it's my vocabulary in Hindi is not that great, right? Like my Bengali. So that's why sometimes I struggle so much. Then I address that, and then I say to the audience that this is not my language. Fuck you.
And you say that in English as well.
Yes, and one thing, Marvin, I want to add, because in India there are like I think more than 50. I think if you main principal if you talk about principal languages and main languages, then there are like more than 40, 50 languages. Okay, I mean totally different from each other, totally different. Like it's a different kind of it's a different language altogether, and we have those cultures. So Bengali is one of them, okay, and Hindi is very dominant around India. Like Hindi is understood by, I think, mostly everybody in India. Okay, Hindi is the basic language. It's the language of Bollywood. So through movies, they understand that language. Okay, so I'm also in a conflict that which language should I use? Like which language should I prefer for the my whole career, my whole stand-up comedy? Because obviously Bengali community is very small. It does not pay you. But if you do it in Hindi and if you make it big in Hindi, then you'll get so much money. Like you'll become really fucking rich. Okay. So that's I'm trying to get into the Hindi stand-up scene.
Is it? Oh, okay. So, but I heard from, don't quote me on this, but I heard from people from India that are over in the UK. They said if you know Hindi and English, you could probably get around the whole of India. Is that statement true,
That's
or is that a sweeping statement?
Yeah, that's what I said. That Hindi is very dominant in all over India. So um, Hindi is understood by everybody, and English has that status. Did you understand? Like you people have that status of French.
Oh,
That you are. Did you understand the scene that French people are from the higher class? Like you have this stereotype in London, right? In England, right?
for people that know London, or
Yeah.
the UK, it's not like that. But for people that don't, we have the impression of being Hugh Grant, but or being posh, 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 posh. But when you went to Edinburgh, I'm sure you saw a lot of examples of saying that a lot of the Brits are not that posh.
Yeah, true. But in India, if you speak English well, fluently, then you will seem to other people very smart. Even if you're dumb and if you just speak English, they will think that you're very smart because you are speaking in English.
Oh,
Yeah,
good.
that's very true. I mean, you don't have to study, Marvin. You just come here, you'll be smart. That's it.
Oh, I'll make a good con artist then.
I mean, if you just come here anyway, you're from London and you speak that accent, right? Like you'll become so fucking they will treat you like celebrity, like good. I mean, not the posh people of India. They are very normal, like they know the culture of other countries. But I think more than 90% will treat you like this, like you're a celebrity, you have come from London.
Oh, good. Right, I'm going.
Yeah.
I'm going to India now.
But I think But for your case, I think people will confuse you with Chinese people or something.
They'll say, oh, this is a posh English Chinese guy.
Yeah, they will mistake you for that. But if you look like really white man or women, then you come to India, they will take selfies, even if you are nothing. Maybe you are a beggar in UK or America, you're a white person, and they will take a selfie with you here.
Oh, okay. Well,
I mean,
sometimes
it's
oh, God.
very common. It's very common. Whenever there are some foreigners, white guys, white girls, they will take selfies.
Oh, bloody hell, that's interesting. Uh, what? Okay, so I'm going to tell you a bit about how it's sort of structured in the UK in terms of comedy and all that, and how people often progress. But it's changed a bit because of social media and people getting viral followings. But often, like you start open mics, a lot of people they do well in competitions, or they do the comedy circuit for a while. They start opening into middle spots. They start as an opener. They do well in clubs. They then
Yeah.
get to middle spots. They do well in that, and in a few years they start doing paid spots, and then they start doing the big clubs. Then they get signed, and then eventually in a few years they get a big break, and they go to the Apollo. But these are people that are doing obviously at the top of the tree, and they go through it. It's obviously a lot harder than what I said, but that's generally the structure to the top. But now, in some cases, it's not that case because people get big, huge social media followings, so they bypass a lot of gatekeepers. And with
Yes.
Edinburgh, a lot of people build their own audience, and a lot of people bypass a lot of gatekeepers by just doing their own shows. But
This is also
what is
happening
the
in India.
is
Yeah.
that how it works in India in terms of like if you're, what does it work? Is it different in different scenes in terms of progressing up the ladder and becoming a top comic, or how does it work?
I think in India, it's not like that. Like it's not so. It's the way you told me right now about the scene of London. It's not in India. It's not at all organized like this. But there are shows where there are competitions of stand-up comedy, and they get a better spot in some high-end clubs. But mostly for the only for the comedy shows, there is no audience. There are few audience, like sometimes they get 10, 20 audience. But if you're viral, like if you're famous, that's it. You'll make money, and you'll get audience like 1,000 seater, 2,000 seater, and there are so many less comedians who are famous, and that's it. They're making money. That's it. Nobody else. Nobody else is making money. I mean, they do some corporate shows, but that's
Mhm.
very, just they meet the survival like that, So what is the scene there? Like, I want to know about this. That are there any comedian who is not viral or who is not famous in London? Do they make money?
No, no. Let me say one thing here. So you're saying that there's only a few people that make it to the top and make a lot of money. Are you saying
Yeah,
enough opportunities for the rest of the people, unless you're famous in India, to make a lot of money? And those that is it is you in a situation where you have to do another job to make money, or you have to? What's the situation for most comics in India,
I
even
have
if
to
you're
be
pro
just
level?
viral. I have to just be viral to make money. I mean, I have to make a video. There are tons of videos of Indian comedians right now, but only few of them are viral. Okay, they're making money. But if I see, if I'm not doing any open mic, also, if I'm not doing any open mics, and I'm just a content creator who has like so many followings, so I can make a video. Obviously, it will get viral, right? Because I'm a known face. Okay, so I'm not a stand-up comedian. I just become a stand-up comedian overnight, and now I can sell tickets because I already had the following.
Hmm. The In terms of what you're saying about, if you to answer your question earlier, in terms of like UK, the people, you can make a living as a pro comic and make an all right living, but it isn't well paid. It's
Okay.
barely scraping minimum. It's not very big. I heard that someone who'd been on the live at the Apollo one of the years, they got like 28,000 a year, but that's not that big considering they're famous. But no, there's not much money, and not unless you're famous or you have a big following, like you said in India. Unless you're
Okay.
really at the top and you've got a big audience, the money that you make, because it's quite congested and quite competitive, and there's so many people that want to be that big star,
Yeah.
the money's quite thin. And also, you don't know what's going to happen with Brexit and other things going in. You know, there's before when the comedy started, like 30, 40 years ago, I think there was a
Yeah.
lot more money. And like in the 80s or 90s, there was a lot of people making money, not necessarily famous, but making very good money from it. But the money, from what I hear from a lot of comics that have been going for many years, has gone down, and it keeps going down. Even with costs going up, the money that comedians are getting is still not increasing. What is the situation in India in that regard? It's
There is
you have to be famous and have a big following to make any money.
Yeah, see, I want to know one thing.
What about
Like
comedy clubs? What about comedy clubs?
yeah, I'm going to that only. What about like if they're not famous? Like suppose he's not one comedian who is not famous in London. You're saying that he's also making money, but that's very less, right?
No, look, it's what I said. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So where does he make the money? Like what is the source? Like the private parties or whatever? What is that?
What do you mean private parties?
I mean comedy, sorry, not private parties, but comedy clubs, right?
Yeah. No, they just
I
get
mean
paid through comedy clubs. That's it. But not much else.
comedy
But
club, right? Comedy club pays them to do the show, right?
yeah.
There is no comedy club like that in India.
So you don't have like comedy club circuits, like people
No,
booking
we have
shows in
comedy
sports
clubs,
clubs.
but they don't pay us. They don't pay us.
They don't pay you not a dime. Not
No,
like
no, no,
you don't get paid by comedy clubs.
no, not at all.
Not unless you're famous.
No, if you're famous, yeah, if you're famous, then they're paying you. They're booking the venue. They're taking the ticket revenue. They're sharing the ticket revenue, right? But if you're not famous, then they're not paying you.
Oh, not even a bit.
Nothing. You have to actually you have to pay because you have to pay for the ride, right? You have to go and you have to come back.
Oh. No, yeah, but what does it work like from open spot to middle spot to paid? Well, even
It's
if you're a
there is
professional
there is no
comedian.
payment for comedy in India. There is no payment nowhere. Not in Mumbai, not anywhere. But yeah, sometimes few good comedians who pays for the opening spots, whoever is opening for him, him or her, whatever. But it's rarely it happens because some people, some comedians are good, so that's why they pay them some little amount for the goodwill. But everybody is willing to do it for free. Everybody, there are so many comedians, they're willing to do it for free forever.
Oh, and what about the comedy promoters? Do they make a lot of money?
Comedy clubs.
Yeah.
Um, I think there are very few comedy clubs in India. I think mostly in Mumbai, Delhi, and Bangalore. And those comedy clubs, before there was one comedy club which was like the national. That was like the laugh store of India. Okay, that's name was Canvas Laugh Club, but it got bankrupt. Okay, so that is the scene here. It got bankrupt, and they used to do it with the famous comedians, but they just lost the money somehow.
Hmm.
That's the scene of India. Like there is no money. Only if you're famous. It's like a, it's like a star. Star. Like if you have a following, it's like if you're famous, that's it. You're making money. Everything else is just we pay for sports. Like we pay 200 rupees for an open mic spot. Like I don't need to pay for it because I am a senior comic right now. But the comics who are coming right now, they're paying 200 rupees, and also they have to bring a plus one.
Oh, so they pay to perform and they have to bring someone. Oh,
Yes,
there's a big.
yes,
Oh,
that is the case here.
oh, there's a lot of bringer gigs in London as well, because so many people want to do comedy, and in America it's worse because they do exactly the same system you said there, especially in New York and LA, and the prices they pay is they have to bring maybe 14 or 20 people. Hold on, 250 rupees to perform. Let me look that up. That is rupees to pounds. Oh, okay, that's £2.48.
I
That's
mean, for see again, Marvin, it is very less for you, but here in India, it's a amount. It's an amount.
oh oh God, that's but it's yeah, it's
It's not that much, but it's an amount for a lot of people, right? Because in India, you see the population and all the people are working hard for the money only.
oh. So what? How do you progress in India and like become a? How do you progress? It's just you have to be famous and that's it. That's
You
the
have
only
to
way to do it.
every one of the comedians right now in India is trying to create a new video. Okay, is not trying to create a new video, and also there is a twist. Like there is one comedy club in Mumbai which is called the Habitat. The Habitat is the Habitat is very famous because its background, like all the famous comedians, like most of the famous comedians, they made videos from that studio. Okay, now that studio is very famous because they had the background and the logo of them
Mm.
in the videos. Okay, so now it's a brand of stand-up comedians. So that club, which takes I think around 60 or 70,000 rupees to record one 20-minute slot from the comedians.
Say that again. It's one
They take 70,000 rupees to record for a 20-minute slot from the comedians.
at that club.
Yes, 70,000. Now just make it in pound.
Oh, whoa. That's 70,000. Oh, that's £695 24.
Yes, that's what one comedian pays for a 20-minute slot to be recorded in that background.
Whoa. Oh God. Shit. Shit. So you guys,
And there
yeah.
is a line, and there is a line for it. Like there is a long line, long queue after it. Like if I try to get a date from them, then I'll get it after 3 months because all the recordings are happening in between. All the dates are filled.
So there's despite these, so how many comedians would you say do is so what I've noticed in London, in the UK and the USA, though there's a lot of people doing comedy, a lot of us know each other. I mean, it's not too you could be an open spot and gig with someone famous. It's there's a lot of people that do that. There's it's yeah, it's the circuit is even there's maybe about in the UK maybe about 6 7,000 people trying to do comedy, something like that. I don't know full figures, but it's
Okay.
this the, there's a chance that someone you know knows someone. There's always,
Okay.
and you're maybe only 3 or 4
Yes,
people away from a famous comic. What's it
right.
like in India in that regard? Is it very distant, or do a lot of people know each other?
It's same because if you're suppose I am from the Kolkata comedy circle, right? Because I started comedy here, so I know all the Kolkata comics. We know each other, and there's so I mean I mean it's the same with you guys. There's some bitching and all these things happening, like bitching things. This happens in comedians groups. But that's a very general thing to happen in a group. And because I travel to Mumbai, Bangalore, because I'm trying for the Hindi community language. So the comics who travel all over India, they know each other through Facebook or through meeting in person. So we all know, like we all know, it's the same thing. I think we know each other basically.
But would you
Like somebody would have heard my name if you mention some. Maybe someday he met me in an open mic. Okay, so that's it. He remembers that yes, Nasif is the guy I met from Kolkata. So we talk like that. We know that there is a comic from Kolkata. If I go to Kolkata, like if somebody is traveling to Kolkata, then obviously he would hit me up with spots that Nasif give me some spots here. I'm here in Kolkata traveling. So these things happen.
Okay. But would you say there's about 1,000 people, or at least people trying to do comedy in India?
In No, it's very less. It's very less. In Kolkata, it's around 30 comics are there only.
Oh. What? So.
And total overall in India, if you 200, I think overall in India, active stand-up comedian open micers are around 2,000 maximum, but it is going to increase in a immense way. It is going to increase. Like every day there are people who are coming, they're new, and there are so much population, so many, like population is so huge of India, so that's why it is going to increase. I think more than London anyway, like more than the whole UK, it is going to be huge.
What makes you think it's going to be huge, more huge in terms of people wanting to do comedy in India?
I think there will be, see, for the every language has its will have its own community. Hindi language will have its own community. There will be some people who will speak in English, will do it in English, and I think it's the same. See, because of the population, it will be higher than the number of UK. I think it's the percentage should be the same, but the number will be huge because of our population, obviously.
Okay. You're saying in proportion, but do you notice that there's lots of people watching like American or UK comics and they want to get involved in it? Have you noticed there's a big uptake? Okay. Now, one of the things that goes in all the entertainment industry and what we just spoken about is that comedians and entertainers get treated like crap. Well, there's a lot of infighting, lots of crap going on, lots of funny business. Now, one of the complaints in the UK and in America, especially for the women's side, is they get bothered by a lot of promoters and other comics. They there's all sorts of complaints about promoters not paying them, all sorts of dodgy things go on in the circuit. And like, what have been some mad things that have happened that you've seen in the Indian comedy scene that shocked
I mean,
you?
for example, like what kind of things are you talking about?
Is there what are things that you can talk about in India that you wish you could?
I mean, are you talking about the Louis C.K. scene?
I'm talking about sort of stuff like that. What are you liking to talk about? And I'm talking about like what of mad things have happened to comedians on stage. Like
I believe that the Louis C.K. scene will not happen. Like it's a once in a lifetime opportunity, I guess. But I think that going to jail thing that happened in India, and there are so many community who got offended and they just attacked the comedy club, the whole comedy club. They attacked the audience. These things happened, and there are some women cases like the sexual harassment and all these things.
Yeah.
This happened actually. There are some allegations around some comedians, like more than 3-4 comedians. They had these allegations that they actually tried to molest someone, some girl. So that happened. Not that extreme like Louis C.K., but this happened.
Okay. And has anything mad sort of happened in terms of apart from comedians being arrested, like mad? What's the maddest thing you've seen on stage? Have you had anyone like attack you on stage? Because you say, you know, if you say the wrong thing in India, you're finished. But have you had anyone like threaten you, or have you had anyone like slap you or something on stage? What's a mad thing you've seen as a performer?
Uh, I made a joke. I think it's years ago. I was performing in a club here in Kolkata, and I made fun of the accent of Bengali people speaking Hindi. They talk Hindi in a funny way, the Bengali community people. Okay. And that one Bengali guy started crying. And he came to me and he said, "Yes, we are like that. So what is your problem?" And he cried and he went away. He was really sad. Like he got offended and also sad. Okay. He was a nice guy, maybe. He said, "Yes, we are like that. Then what is your problem?" And then he cried and then he went away.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, hopefully he's better now.
I don't know. I don't know this guy. I did not know this guy actually.
Now, I've got three sort of other questions, like, who are your heroes in comedy and
So I
why?
wanted to know about one thing. Like, sorry, I'm interrupting, but I wanted to know what is the availability of spots in UK.
I'll, when as I ask the question first, I'll tell you after I finish. As I've asked you the question first, I'll say it.
Okay.
Okay, is that okay? Because I asked you the question first.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. Yeah, tell me.
Now, what advice would you give to comics looking to start comedy now? If you were a comic now starting, what advice would you give to yourself now? Um, who are your heroes in comedy and why? And
Okay, let me do it one by one because I'll forget the questions before answering. Okay.
okay,
So I think the first question is, see, I have this principle in my life that I don't regret for anything. I mean, for
okay,
any decision in my life, it's a personal thing. So I wouldn't give any advice to myself. But yeah, obviously, I think if I started memorizing my sets, my whatever I write, that would have been better because I started doing that recently, and I understood that that is a good way to perform. Did you get what I said? Like, did you understand what I'm trying to say?
you're saying you wish you remembered your set more.
Yes, I see the when I started, I thought that I would just read my set, whatever I wrote as the jokes. Okay, so maybe I wrote a 5 minute set. So I would I would just go and perform, and I would try to remember my jokes on stage. So it was not a good idea. Now I just memorize it. I just say it again and again, and I do it before performing, and that is a and it got me a good result in front of the audience. So I would say to myself, that my version of myself which started that time, I think I would say that please memorize your jokes or your sets, and that's it. I think that is the but and everything else is just a good experience of what I had. I learned every day in open mics. So performing again and again, it made me a better person. So I couldn't, I cannot escape any struggle, right?
Okay.
Struggling makes you a good performer.
Okay. Who are your heroes in comedy, and who are like comedians that we should check out in India? Who would you give a shout out to?
Mostly, I started doing comedy watching the English comedians, but in India, I have some idols, which is like one is Abhishek Uppannu and Abhishek Uppannu. Can you pronounce that, Marvin?
I can't, but let's carry on.
So Abhishek Uppannu is, I think, for me, among the Indian stand-up comedians, he's the best. And Kevin Hart is really my favorite.
Okay.
Did you watch any Indian stand-up comedians ever?
I watched you. No.
I mean, that's okay.
I haven't. But yeah, go on. Go on, tell me.
Did you watch Russell Peters?
I've seen his clip of what made him famous.
I mean, since when I was growing up, he was a star in India. So what was it like in UK about, like, what was the status of him?
Oh, he was a well-known stripper. He had sex with everyone, and that was it.
What?
No, look, he was. It's same. He was just famous, mate. What's
I mean, he's not famous for his stand-up comedy culture. I mean, what for he was famous?
No, he's famous for being a great comic. He's
Okay, okay.
That
And
video
there
is
is
famous worldwide.
another Indian stand-up comedian who does English shows all over the world. I don't know whether you know him or not. Veer Das. Have you ever heard his name?
I think I've heard of him. Yes, Vedas. Yeah.
Okay, so he's kind of famous worldwide. I don't like him, but yeah, he is famous.
Ah, why do you not like it?
I can't relate to his jokes.
Okay, he's not your style of comedy.
Yeah.
Okay,
He went to the Conan show, that Conan show where
okay,
stand-up comics perform for the 5 minutes.
okay. And he made lots of money.
He made lots of money. I think, yeah, another thing about Indian stand-up comedians, mostly all the famous comedians are from rich families, like posh, rich families, wealthy families.
Oh, okay.
Veer Das is from a very well-to-do family. Uh, Russell Peters is obviously he was not an Indian. His dad was Indian. He was born and raised there. But Veer Das and all the comedians, more than 80%, they're from wealthy family, like filthy rich family.
Hmm. Okay. There's a lot of middle class white people. No, sorry, what? Ignore that last sentence. There's a lot of middle class people in comedy. But now, what? How do people find out about you? And what is the one thing you love about stand up that you think that's unique to you? What is the unique thing for why you keep doing stand up?
Uh, I have this answer because I have this answer. I'll tell you. I don't know whether you will understand or not. I am from a proper village in India. Like, I was born there. I spent my childhood there, and then I moved to a city. Okay, I moved to a city. I did my schooling and college there. And then I went to a greater city, which is like the posh city of India, Mumbai and Delhi. All these cities, I lived there. And then I also went to London. Like, that's the fucking most highest posh city you can, imagine in the world. So I have seen the London and my village. There is I mean, Earth and Moon difference. Okay, so that difference I know. I know the ladders, the whole, you know, the hierarchy. Okay, so I believe that that experience is very unique to me,
Okay.
and I that's why I want to tell my story, which I got by my experience, my traveling, my life. I want to say that, and that is very unique to me.
Okay. And how do people like follow you and find out about you? And if they want to see you perform, where do they go?
Right now, your audience will not see me because I don't perform in English right now, but I will soon come to London, and then maybe you know, I'll put some videos and I'll try to
Okay.
be viral.
But do you have any social media? Like, what's your social media like handles and like websites?
It's just Nasif Akhtar. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, I'm on YouTube. Nasif Akhtar, NASIFAKHTAR.
Cool. So anyone, if you want to find out about Nasif, I'll put the links in the description. Hope you
Yes,
guys have
please.
enjoyed the episode, and I'll
And
see
you
you
forgot
soon.
that one question I asked you.
I'll do that after the podcast.
Oh, okay. So that's the after party thing. Okay.
Yes. Stop interrupting, brother, man. What's going on?
Thank you so
Don't
much. Thank you so. Wait,
don't do that
let
in
me
the
tell.
don't do that in the UK. Like
Okay.
in England it may work, but if you do it here, I'm being quite
Yeah.
polite, but other people they don't fucking like it, mate. All right, don't do that.
Really?
Let us finish talk,
Fuck.
and I'll let you finish talk. You know, that's a hand
Okay.
conversation, all right? But
Okay.
yeah, guys, I hope you've enjoyed it. It's been a bit tasty here and there, but oh well. But I'll see you in the next episode, okay?